closing a meeting of the ASI Student Senate. Before we begin with roll call, I will begin with a land acknowledgement. The Fresno State campus sits in the midst of the San Joaquin Valley, a valley rich in traditions and representation of Native American peoples and cultures. We're grateful to be in the traditional homelands of the Yokuts and Mono peoples, whose diverse tribal communities share stewardship over this land. Thank you for joining me in this acknowledgement. We will now move on to roll call. The Senate Recorder will take the roll call, and please respond when your name is called.
President Saleh.
Here.
EVP Prado.
Here.
VPX Guzman.
Here.
VPX Boo.
Here.
Senator Armstrong.
Here.
Senator Camlin.
Here.
Senator Carrillo.
Here.
Senator Duran.
Here.
Senator Guzman.
Here.
Senator Hassan.
Here.
Senator Hernandez.
Here.
Senator Hill. Senator Martinez. Senator Morcos.
Here.
Senator Morales. Here. Senator Pierce.
Here.
Senator Renteria.
Here.
Senator Rivera.
Here.
Senator Seavey.
Here.
Senator Singh.
Here.
And Senator Bank.
Here. Thank you, Senate Recorder. There are 4 executives present and 15 senators present and executives, and we meet quorum. We will now proceed into item 3.0, public comment. Public comment is a time for any member of the public to address the Senate on any issue affecting Associated Students, Inc. and or California State University, Fresno. You can either address your concern live during the meeting at the allotted time, or you can send your comment ahead of time via email to asi-vicepresident@mail.fresnostate.edu. We'll now open the floor to public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. If there is any public comment, please approach the podium. Seeing and hearing none, we will be moving on to action item 4.0, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Carrillo?
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? Senator Renteria?
Second.
Any competing motions? Any discussion or debate? All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Approval of the agenda passes, and we'll now adopt the agenda. We'll now be moving on to item 5.0, approval of the minutes. The Senate will review the minutes from the ASI Student Senate meeting held on September 3rd, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the minutes? Senator Durham?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second? Senator Hernandez?
I second that.
Any discussion or debate? Is there any competing motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? The motion to approve the minutes passes. We'll now be moving on to item 6.1, campus resource reports. Each speaker presenting a campus resource report will have 10 minutes to address the Student Senate. Are there any campus resource reports here with us today? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to item 6.2, campus administration reports. Each speaker presenting a campus administration report will have 3 minutes to address the Student Senate. Are there any campus administration reports? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move forward to item 7.0, new business. We will now open the floor on discussion item 7.1. Diana Ria Flores, coordinator of the Dream Success Center, will give a presentation highlighting the center's work, opportunities for collaboration, and overview of the department. Her presentation will provide a clear understanding of the center's role in supporting students and its contributions to the campus community. The Student Senate has allocated 15 minutes for this item. The floor is yours.
Can you all hear me well? I have more than 15 slides, so I'll try to go by fast. But first of all, thank you all for inviting me. This is actually my very first time meeting with this group, and I've been here on campus as a coordinator for the Dream Success Center 3 years. So it really is a pleasure to meet with all of you the leaders of the school and for you to get to learn what the Dream Center does and a little bit more about our students. So fairly quickly, the Dream Success Center is a small but mighty team, I'd say. We are composed of 3 individuals. I am the only full-time staff member. I'm the coordinator, and composed of 2 student assistants. Evelyn, she is our graduate assistant, and then also Carla, who works with our first-time freshmen. So a little bit about the Dream Center. We are a support program on campus who primarily serves students who are undocumented, students with DACA, students with who fall under AB 540, or any other form of mixed immigration status, and those also who have been impacted by any immigration policy. And our goal really is to be there for the students and ensure them that their goal of graduating from college becomes a reality, and we're really there throughout the way. We strive to be their allies on campus. Whatever it is that they need, we're always there for them, and for them to know that they can come to us and have that sense of belonging away from home. Okay, and I'm gonna go through this slide very quickly, and this is more to emphasize who is a dreamer or undocumented, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions that being undocumented, you were born outside of the United States, you immigrated to this country, but there's a lot of different categories that makes you undocumented, and those are all there. You can have a visa, there's TPS status, U visa, VAWA, SIJS, the list goes on. So, and we have all those on our campus. So our campus, or within the program, there's a vast majority of diversity within the program. Going quickly on what DACA means. DACA is an executive order that was passed during the Obama administration, and unfortunately it was paused during the first term of the Trump administration. But what that is, it allows students who are DACA recipients a protection from deportation, and also the ability to have a work permit and work legally with the Social Security and all that. It renews every 2 years, and because it was paused a few years ago, unfortunately many of the students that could qualify for it are not able to apply for it because it's on pause. So every year, though we do have DACA recipients on campus, the list of those just decreases every time, because again, they're not able to apply for such an amazing program, because it opens so many doors for our students, especially that work permit, which allows them to work legally. Without it, they really couldn't make a living without the work permit. Okay, and 5 things to know about our undocumented students is first, obviously, that they can go to college. That's why I'm here. And especially here in California, there's so many laws and many laws that support our students. The process for an undocumented student to apply to college, it's fairly the same as any other student, which is amazing. Students can go to NUCSU, UC, community college, private college, you name it. The opportunities are there for our students. Though the opportunities are there for our students, there are limited resources once they are on campus, and that's why Dream Centers are so important on campus. As I was mentioning, in California, there are many laws that allow our students to apply to college and then also make graduating college a reality. For example, AB 540 allows our students to apply and qualify for in-state tuition, which is huge, because if that didn't exist, our students would be charged international fees, which is, it's crazy amounts of money which they could not pay otherwise. These other 3, it's been a slow run, I'd say. So I started with AB 130, then the other one, AB 131 and whatnot. But what it means, pretty much, first, students were not able to qualify for any financial aid. Then after AB 131 passed, students are able to qualify for state aid. Lastly, SB 1210 allows our students to actually also qualify for student loan through the DREAM Act. So as you may be familiar, our students do not qualify for the FAFSA, but they do qualify for financial aid through the California DREAM Act. And the California Dream Act is financial aid that comes within the state. So it's funded by the state, and it is available to all of our students who qualify for AB 540. And when students do that financial aid application, which for our campus, I say maybe 95% of students who fall under the Dream Center do qualify for financial aid through that program. They qualify for Cal Grants, Cal Grant A, B, and C, the State University Grant, which allows them to pay their tuition fees, the EOP grant, which is available for students under the EOP program. The other one is for community colleges, and then lastly, the institutional scholarships, so such as the Fresno State General Scholarship. Thankfully, our students do qualify for that, and year after year, it's one of the biggest support for our students to build that the bridge between whatever they receive for tuition to the actual cost of tuition. A few things to know about DACA, which is what I talked about earlier, and financial aid is that they do not go hand in hand. Students do not have to be DACA recipients to qualify for financial aid, or vice versa. Students also do not need to possess a social security number to qualify for financial aid. So both things are very different. They, again, do not have anything to do with another. You do not have to be a DACA recipient to qualify for financial aid. Okay, so some of the services that we provide on campus is college orientation and transition to the university. So we work closely with Dog Days to meet with our students one-on-one. That first contact when they're entering the university is critical, as you know. We want them to know that we're here for them. We want them to know that, put a face to the name, that way they're more likely to come onto the campus. We also provide academic advising and referrals. Myself and my team, we meet with students one-on-one. We advise them on class schedule, majors, minors, how to petition for maybe a permission number, withdraw, all those things we support our students with. Especially because, I mean, as you all know, if you want to meet with an academic advisor, sometimes you have to wait a couple days, sometimes a couple weeks. So we want to be there for the student to not make them go through that. We also provide financial aid guidance. Like I mentioned, our students don't qualify for the FAFSA, but they do qualify for financial aid through the California Dream Act. So we support our students every semester with workshops, so that way we can help them fill it out, make sure that it's completed successfully, and submitting it correctly. We also have a peer mentor program, which is for our first-time freshman students. They are assigned to one peer mentor, and they meet with our peer mentor once a month and discuss various topics, depending on the month. So for example, October is coming up, and that's when the financial aid applications open. So we will heavily discuss applications, Fresno State General applications, and whatnot. On DocULA trainings, we also provide those for staff, student staff, and faculty to train them on the campus, our students, how to know them better, how to be a better ally for our students, pretty much. I can talk about our free immigration legal services, and this is one of the biggest services here on campus. And it is actually available in all CSU campuses. It also is funded by the state, and Fresno State is actually one of the CSUs that mostly uses this service. So that just tells you that the need, it really is there. The services are available for all Fresno State students, not necessarily only undocumented students. So even if you are a citizen, resident, or a resident trying to apply for citizenship, you can qualify for the services. If you are a citizen trying to petition for a family member, you also qualify for the services. And also, it's not only available for students, it's also available for staff, for faculty, and for your immediate family members, and it's all free of cost. So it's a huge, huge service that we have here. For our students, we do support students with DACA renewal fees and then also advanced pro applications. And then lastly, well not lastly, but I'm gonna try to speed up. We have UndocuTalks, and that is with a collaboration with the Student Health and Counseling Center. This rolled out last semester, and it's a space for our students to join a confidential session if they need to talk about any issues, get something off their chest. There is a therapist that's always available for them on Wednesdays from 2 to 4. They can just jump in. They do not have to provide a name. They don't have to turn on the camera and anything like that. It's all confidential. And aside from that one, because that one is only on Wednesdays, they can always schedule an appointment after that. This one is for summer 2025. I do have the fall 2025 calendar, but that's ILD is the nonprofit that we work with, Immigrant and Legal Defense. They're the ones that provide our legal services, and every semester they provide trainings on different topics, immigration updates, and I can provide you with the updated one. Okay. And lastly, how to be a better ally. I would say to treat our students like you would treat anybody else, right? They do not want pity or anything like that. They already know, they walk with whatever their label, they already know. So sometimes even when individuals are trying to help, I think there's different ways to approach a situation. So what I would say, for example, if you think a student may benefit from the Dream Center, right? Or they qualify for the DREAM Act instead of the FAFSA. You can talk about the different applications of financial aid. You can say FAFSA is for US citizens, residents, but we also have this other application for our undocumented students. And then that student would know, okay, well, obviously I would qualify for this one, and that's you being an ally, providing the information and the student taking it. And I would also say, if you don't know how to support a student, but you want to be an ally, the best way to support them is by referring them to a department or an individual who can support them. Because like I said, our students do navigate very unique challenges. It could be legal challenges, financial challenges, emotional challenges, and so advising them the proper way is really the best way to support our students. Any questions for me?
Do any senators have any questions? Senator Sebi?
Hi. I'll come right out and say I'm not as well versed in like the DREAM Act or DACA. I just have a very surface level understanding of it. So this is really helpful. So thank you. My question has to do with things like supporting students who aren't from necessarily from the United States. Maybe they came over as a child or are over here just to be in college and might not understand things like car insurance and how it works, or seeing a doctor or stuff like that. Would that be something that you guys could help with, or is there another resource that like I could send them to if those questions arise?
Yes. No, that's a great question, and we also actually have had students who come to us with those questions. I mean, being first generation, you're already navigating a system that you don't know, so you have to ask those questions. And maybe some of our students immigrated not long ago, so they don't even know the system as a whole. So yeah, we've had students who come to us asking about like, how do I open a bank account? How do I get an ITIN? How to apply for Medi-Cal? And we do our best to support them that way. We provide them the resources, or sometimes we support them, we'll sit next to them and help them fill out the application. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you come across that, send them our way.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Any additional questions?
Hi, I have a question if there was like volunteer opportunities maybe for students. Like I know a lot of this is like legal and so you need someone who's trained or is an attorney, but like volunteer options maybe with like that. Like for example, I grew up like translating and doing all the paperwork for my parents and helping them with car insurance and then like everything, doing my mom's citizenship papers. So like would there be volunteer opportunities for students who either want to get involved in this type of work or want to help out in any way?
Oh yeah, we are always seeking volunteers with either our events or whenever we have the attorneys that do come on campus, we can definitely take volunteers for that.
Any last question? Thank you for coming to speak with us today. We appreciate all the work you do at Fresno State, and we appreciate you
No,
in this
thank
space
you.
with us.
Thank you all too for the work you do. Thank you.
will now be moving on to discussion item 7.2. Luis Macias, student intern for Students for Quality Education, will present on SQE, providing an introduction to their organization, their role in educating students on CSU policy, CSU's trustees meetings, protests regarding educational policy, and broader equity initiatives. The Student Senate has allocated 15 minutes for this item. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Luis Macias,
I'm Cody Buckley.
and I am one of the interns for the SQE this school year. So good afternoon. I'm truly honored to be here today representing Students for Quality Education. Essentially what we are is one of the student branches from the California Faculty Association, and where we stand and represent student needs, qualities, and resources more on the front lines for students. Together we're building a movement that is rooted in the belief for students and faculty that deserve better, better resources, better representation, and above all, a system that truly centers equity and access in public higher education. Right now, our shared mission focuses on something more fundamental, which is campus networking and student engagement.
So basically, a lot of what we do is built around community. It's meant to help the students. If you're looking at something on campus, things like police, ICE, protesting, something like that, we are the people to come to. We do a lot of some legal work, mostly community work. As you can see on our beautiful flyer, we do a lot of work with on-campus resources. We want to build a safer community for our vulnerable students, so people of different immigration statuses, people who are struggling with mental health, people who are struggling if they're part of a minoritized community. We want to be sure that they have the resources that they need. We are also, if students are going through something where they feel that their needs are not being addressed, their rights are being violated, we're here to advocate, we're here to promote, boost their voices, let them be heard. We are advocating to keep ICE off campus, so for like oppressive time, place, and manner policies that would keep students from protesting, that would keep students from voicing how they feel about having them on campus. We're here to
Address that.
Address that. We want to make sure that administration is kept accountable for the things that they do, that your money is going where it needs to be going, that they're not just spending it in stocks, that they're not spending it more police budgets, things like that. Just throwing it in places that don't ultimately help the students. And we also have a rapid response squad for if there is ICE on campus. They teach you what to say, where you can help students to go to be safe. If you're a teacher too, they help with that. We have both faculty and students on our team. We believe that student learning conditions are faculty working conditions, and so everything kind of works together. It's an ecosystem. So it's our job to help each other, keep each other safe, instead of waiting for security or police or ICE or whoever. It's our job to band together and not rely on a third party. We are also working on backing Prop 50. I know that it's very controversial, but we believe that with what Texas is up to, we need to kind of counter it, balance it out a little bit in order to allow people's voices to be heard. We know what they're doing, and we're not going to sit around.
Yeah, and overall, we are still a growing organization here at Fresno State. We have been here for several years. The engagement and organization in the South has been kept pretty small, so this year we are hoping to reach out and do more community and student engagement and involvement. For example, like reaching out for ASI, since most of our missions and objectives closely align, just in a different branch.
Awesome, thank you. Do any senators have any questions for our guest today? Senator Sebi?
Hi, can you elaborate on the no harm, disarm points that are on that flyer, please?
Yeah, for sure. We don't think that it's necessary for campus security to have lethal weapons. We don't believe that it's necessary for us to keep funneling money into having cops on campus, or, you know, funding them to have any sort of dangerous or harmful people on campus. We believe that if there is an issue, if somebody's having a mental health crisis, if there's, you know, somebody dangerous on campus, we need to be able to have the proper resources to deal with it amongst ourselves, rather than funneling money into somebody with a gun.
Senator Sebi?
So follow up to that, some of the safety concerns that have been brought up on campus are more to do with things like theft and also traffic and pedestrians not behaving safely in areas of high traffic. So if not security and if not the police, then who is going to help protect our property, our persons, and you know, just general traffic safety around this campus where parking and transportation is such a huge issue?
Yeah, we definitely do want to focus on traffic safety, especially, you know, in local districts and local schools where we see so many fatal incidents with students, you know, going to school or coming back from school. So that is definitely a mission that we do want to work on. We are closely working with the CFA and seeing what objectives closely align with them, and how we can find ways to incorporate their missions with student needs and resources.
Follow up. Sorry,
Senator
do I have to? Okay. So how is this aligned with CFA? Because this is the first I've heard of like a student-centered kind of organization with the faculty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious more. How does that look working with the CFA?
Yeah, so working with the CFA, for those who don't know, the CFA is the California Faculty Association. We are more of their student branch. So we are under the same organization, just that the CFA focuses more on staff and faculty, while the SQE, us on part, focus more on the student needs. We do closely work with the CFA when it comes to going to the meetings and working on objectives and closely sharing our budget and resources. So we are under the same tree. We're just in different branches, and we closely work with each other to intertwine those two programs.
Just for clarification, are you like student workers, or like how? Because I was a student worker, and it was a different union, so I'm just wondering where those unions are coming together.
Yeah, so we are the interns of the California Faculty Association on the students' behalf.
Okay, that is just like the position. It's not like an entire union.
Right.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions?
Hi, I have a question, kind of piggyback, based on what Senator Sebi said. So then, I kind of want to understand SQE too. So if it's the student-centered organization and then there's the faculty organization, but you're like a branch of that. So whatever happens if there's a disagreement with the CFA? Are you still under the jurisdiction of CFA, or are you entirely alone in that?
Yeah, when it comes to that, we do have our own SQE entire team. We are like a branch of CFA, but we don't necessarily follow or strict to anything that CFA sponsors or needs.
Thank you.
Any final questions? Senator Sebi?
Sorry. Thank you for asking that, President Saleh. So, in the case of campus police, so for one, I agree with you on security. Like security guards don't need to be armed. I'm with you on that. Campus police, however, what happens when SQE and CFA diverge on something like that?
Yeah, in instances like that, I mean, there's always room for discussion and always room for clarification. If we notice that that's what's bigger for the student needs, and we would of course organize and advocate for that. We do have our own separate team of SQE administration, so we could also work with that.
Any final questions? Thank you so much for coming to speak with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll now be moving on to action item 7.3, David Estrada, Auxiliary Accounting Manager, and Barbara Dean, Accounting Technician at Fresno State, will present the annual financial audit for the Senate to review and approve. This report will outline ASI's financial record for the last 2024 to 2025 fiscal year. The Student Senate has allocated 20 minutes for this item. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Estrada. I am the Auxiliary Accounting Manager. This is Barbara Dean, the Accounting Technician. I'm here to present the financial statements for the 2024-25 year. The financial statements end up going over all of the financial activity that ASI ended up having for the fiscal year, which runs from July of 24 to June of 2025. The financial statements are audited by our outside auditors, Baker Tilly, who did end up expressing an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the preferred. There were no disagreements or disputes, and there was no recommendation to strengthen internal controls. ASI did end up posting a surplus of $100,000, which is a bit less than last year. Last year was it's about a $50,000 drop, but still surplus, $125,000. The operating revenues increased to $1.7 million. Revenues for contributed non-financial assets was $11,500, which is the value of basically the office rent here in the building. Salaries and wages increased by $37,000, mostly due to benefit costs and equity increases. Advertising increased by about $2,700. Telephone expenses increased by $2,300. Legal fees of $22,000. Office supplies decreased by $1,700. Office equipment rental decreased by $13,000, and supplies decreased by just over $2,000. Student program expenses were $824,000 for the year, which was an increase of $55,000. And those include club sports, vintage days, homecoming. Travel and training expenses were $26,700 as compared to prior year of $23,000. We also have, as a part of the presentation, the report on net assets, which we are also asking to be approved. The report on net assets end up showing basically the reserve balances for each one of the different reserves that ASI has. There is the working capital current operations reserve, which has a current balance of $646,000. There is the capital replacement reserve, which has a balance of just over $200,000. The planned future operations reserve, which is just over $400,000. There's the student managed enterprise, which is the business office store, just over $9,000. And the club reserves, which is the entirety of all the different clubs that do bank ASI, is just over $200,000. And that's pretty much the gist of it.
Are there any questions? We'll now open the floor. Senator Setti.
Oh yeah, I have questions. Because I'm not a financial person, what are these reserves again?
It's reserves that ASI has in order for to meet whatever operational needs they may have. The first reserve is basically the general, can be used for pretty much whatever. The other ones do have specific designations.
Okay.
So there would be processes basically if those funds were to try to be used.
And all of these amounts are just like sitting there that can be used? Is that, did I get that right?
Yes,
confused.
I don't know the full process for the designated ones. I believe that would require board approval in order to make use of those funds.
Okay.
Beyond that, I know that they do have specific qualifications, like the capital reserve would need to be for repairs of fixed assets specifically.
I see, but it is ASI, it's under ASI's purview, all these
Correct.
reserves. Okay, thank you.
I can partly answer that question as well. If not, it's okay, I don't need it, as long as you're on the floor. Okay, I was gonna say, I can answer this one, is that if we are to use any reserves that are budgeted for specific purposes, they need a 2/3 supermajority from the Senate and from the Executive Board to make use of those reserves, if not for those specified purposes. So like theoretically, you guys, which would be a horrible idea, just putting it out there, you guys could vote to use the money of the clubs that use us as banking, right? Which would be a horrible decision. Please don't do that, right? But I'm just saying that it is within the right of the Senate, within these reserves, as long as you have a supermajority, to vote on using these reserve items, even if they're slotted for other things.
Okay, so I guess point of clarification. How is that different from our budget that we went over the summer at the retreat?
Well, I mean, they could also touch on that a bit, but the budget itself, we allocate specifically for what our budget is going to be for the next year, including how much we're going to put into surplus, right? Or how much we're going to put into reserves at the end of the year. The reserves is for something like if our enrollment goes down, since our fees are based on since the budget that we operate is based off of student fees. If student enrollment goes down, then we might need a reserve to be able to sustain the same operations we do the year prior with higher enrollment.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
The budget would end up being basically an estimate of what you're planning to use, if you end up getting a surplus from basically your year, that ends up going into the reserves. So the reserves are basically their surplus from multiple years.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Any additional questions? We'll now open the floor for motions on item 7.3, approval of the annual financials. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Durham?
I motion to approve the
Is there a second? Senator Pierce?
I second it.
Okay. Any competing motions? Any discussion or debate? We'll do a voice call vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? The motion to approve the annual financial passes with unanimous consent. Thank you so much for your time and sharing the space with us.
Thank you.
We'll now be moving on to action item 7.4, appointment of the Senator of Parking and Transportation. The Senate will vote to appoint a candidate for the Parking and Transportation Senator position. Recommendations have been forwarded by the Internal Affairs Committee. There were 3 candidates recommended to be considered. However, the other 2 candidates unfortunately couldn't join us today. However, we have Nelly Chobanian, one of our candidates with us here today. So the Student Senate has reserved 20 minutes for this item, and may the first candidate, Nelly Chobanian, please come up and speak. You'll have 3 minutes, and then time to take 3 questions from senators afterwards.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nelly Chobanian, and I'm a poli-sci major, Armenian Studies minor, and cost honors students here at Fresno State. I'm actively involved on campus through High Social Newspaper, several clubs, and the mock trial team. Additionally, off campus, I've had several internships ranging from advocating for policy and speaking directly with public officials in Washington, D.C. I've worked at the district attorney's office here, and currently I'm interning at Senator Schiff's office. And my experiences ranging from internships to community service work has really taught me the skills of collaboration, problem solving, and representing the needs of diverse communities, which are all skills that I hope to bring to this position. I also bring my perspective as a student who navigates parking and transportation daily. Like many students, I'm frustrated about the parking situation here. And the first-hand experience I bring as a student drives my commitment to finding solutions that improve safety, accessibility, and convenience for all students. As our campus grows, including hopefully the new P20 parking structure, it's essential to plan efficiently while keeping safety a priority. I want to collaborate with campus administration to ensure future projects meet demand and integrate into a student-friendly transportation plan. Many areas on campus face traffic congestion and safety concerns. I know I'm not the only student who's nearly been run over by a scooter. So having dedicated campus lanes for scooters or bikes on campus would be a solution to that problem. And Also, I proposed increasing shuttle services from the St. Mart Center to campus during peak times, giving students a safe alternative when lots like P20 are full. And another solution I envision is a user-friendly parking app which shows real-time available spaces, which would save time and reduce congestion. I'd love to speak more about that during the question time. And if elected, I will focus on proactive solutions, collaboration with campus planners, and innovative approaches to make Fresno State's parking and transportation systems safer, smarter, and more accessible. I am eager to serve as a student's voice and work towards solutions that benefit every student, whether they drive, bike, scooter, or walk on campus. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to your questions.
Does any senator have any questions for Kenneth? Senator Durham?
Yeah, I want to hear about this like parking app idea that you have, because that is really, really interesting. I haven't heard about it before.
Thank you. So I saw that UC Berkeley and Arizona State have a system where there's digital signs that show how many parking lots are available before entering the parking lot, and incorporating that in a parking app that would show students the spaces that are already available would save every student so much time. The technology behind it would probably be sensory devices near the parking spaces, and it would take collaboration with more tech-savvy people to figure that out, but that's what I'm envisioning so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Senator Sevi?
So to follow up on that, I love the idea. I've seen it in places too, and yes, it is, yes. That's all I can say. However, you will find that everything here comes down to the question of money. So my question is, what skills do you have, or experience maybe, do you have that would convince powers that be to invest in something that isn't monetized?
Well, I haven't thought of the logistics of the monetary aspect of it just yet, but I'm great at advocating and lobbying, so I'm hoping that I can make a good plan to present.
Okay, thank you.
Any final question? Senator Kimberly?
Hello, thanks for speaking today. I had a question about this parking app. So, what would be the process to look at it? Would students be entering the parking lot, and then I'm driving, and I'm gonna go check my phone really quick while I'm driving, and then there's so many people coming around, does that bring up any safety concerns for you, or how do you manage to establish that?
Yeah, so I have looked at the safety concern aspect of it, so it would more of be, hopefully the people aren't using their phones while they're driving, and the digital sign when entering the parking lot, showing how many parking lot spaces are available, hopefully could quicken that process, but we could look more into the safety concerns of it.
Now I'll give the opportunity for Nellie to deliver a short 30-second closing remark if you choose to. If not, that's okay too.
I can go ahead. Thank you. I'm running because every student here at Fresno State deserves a safer, more reliable, and less stressful way to get to class, whether you drive, bike, scooter, or walk. And I hope that my experiences will have prepared me to take real-time parking updates, expand shuttle routes, and ensure safer traffic flow. I'll listen, collaborate, and fight for practical solutions that actually work for students, and together we can make campus transportation smarter and safer. I'd be honored to be your senator. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll now open the floor for any discussion or debate, if anybody has anything to say amongst each other. All right. We'll now open the floor for any motions, whether it's a table, to a motion to approve the respective candidate, whatever motion we want. The floor is open for any motion. Senator Sevi?
I move to vote.
Is there a second? Senator Hill?
I second that.
Any competing motions? All those in favor of voting, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. We'll now be moving on to a roll call vote. When I call your name, when I call call your name, it would either be yay or nay to appoint the candidate. Senator Armstrong,
Yay.
Senator Kimling,
Yay.
Senator Carrillo,
Yay.
Senator Durham,
Yay.
Senator Guzman, Senator Hazan, Senator Hernandez,
Yay.
Senator Hill,
Yay.
Senator Marcos,
Yay.
Senator Nellis,
Yay.
Senator Pierce,
Yay.
Senator Renteria, Senator Rivera,
Yay.
Senator Savi, Senator Singh, Senator Bing. The nomination to approve the appointment of Nelly to the Senate passes. Congratulations on your appointment as the Senator of Parking and Transportation. You can now take your seat on the Senate floor. We'll now be moving into action item 7.5, consent calendars. ASI President Saleh will present the consent calendar for committee appointments for the Senate to approve. The Student Senate has reserved 5 minutes for this item.
Hi everyone, it's a really small consent calendar compared to last time, so yay. So we had 2 students in Sustainability Committee. We had 3 apply and 2 were eligible to be put on a committee, so 2 of them are Sustainability. And then Academic Senate, so these are ones that got added on later or asked for later, so we have filled them up, and then the search for the provost. And there will probably be a consent calendar next Senate meeting because these committees open up as time goes, or their searches as time goes. So stay tuned for that, and I am getting more emails to keep appointing everyone. So while we approved last consent calendar, I know I've been getting some questions. It's up to the chair of those committees that I appointed everyone to, or recommended everyone to reach out to me, so then from there I give them your guys' information. So if they don't reach out, then there's no committees meetings, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, that's my consent calendar. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you.
I'll now open the floor for motions. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Pierce,
I move to approve the calendar.
is there a second? Senator Rivera,
I'll second.
is there a competing motion? Any discussion or debate? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion to approve the consent calendar passes. Moving on to action item 7.6, the financial consent calendar. ASI Vice President of Finance will present the consent calendar for the sponsored activity grants for the Senate to approve or deny. The Student Senate has reserved 5 minutes for this item. I'll open the floor.
Hey guys. So it's my first finance consent calendar, but it's short. There's just 3. The Chicano Writer and Arts Association got approved for $3,000. The Fresno State Cheer Team got approved for $3,000, and the Fresno State Dance Team got approved for $3,000. If you guys have any questions on others that got maybe tabled or denied, feel free to ask me or look at my finance committee minutes. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll answer them.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I have a question. You know me. Can we just get the abridged, like, what the grants were for? Like, for, like, how they plan to be used in those,
So essentially what the sponsored activity grants are, so the Chicanos, they're hosting like an event that they do every year, I want to say, and then the Fresno State cheer team and dance team, those are like club sports, so they use them for like mats and anything that they need essentially for
gotcha,
their
okay.
activities.
I was just curious, thank you.
If there's no other questions, we'll close discussion time, and I will now open the floor for motions. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Hernandez,
I motion to approve the financial consent calendar.
is there a second? Senator Carrillo, are there any competing motions? Any discussion or debate? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion to approve the financial consent calendar passes. We'll be moving on to info item 7.7, Bulldog Voices, presented by the EVP. So Bulldog Voices was an initiative that we started to be more student-centered in the projects that we do, and making sure that we're just doing what students want and making sure that they're relevant to the time being. So these are the responses that came from the poll, we were just shy of 200 responses, with the number one respondent being parking availability being the biggest concern. The number 2 was campus safety, the number 3 was class availability, and number 4 was student employment and internship opportunities. And then if we scroll to the second page, we can actually see the breakdown of how students voted, and I think there's a big margin between kind of the top 4 and the other ones. And then there's obviously comments too, and senators have access to those comments, as well as students if they want to reach out to them specifically about any questions, and that information is all in the drive. But those were the top 4. Yeah. We'll now be moving on to 8.0 reports. First item is 8.1 executive report, starting with President Soleil.
Hi guys, I'm going to keep it short and brief. If you wanted to look at specifically what I've been working on, please feel free to refer to the report. But the Library Bulldog Hour replacement cards, ID cards, is still happening until October 1st if you want to push it out some more. I do know they have gotten over 100, but I checked that over a week ago, so it could be a lot more. I've been checking to make sure that if it hits closer to 500, we can let students know so that we're not wasting their time when they go to try to replace their ID thinking it's free. And then honestly, I would say building onto Bulldog Voices is there is going to be a library survey that will be going out for our second series to really get a feel of what our students want, whether it's to 12 a.m. throughout the semester, whether it's 24/7 during finals, just to get a feel of it, because we have been meeting with the dean of the library quite often and working towards that. And so when that comes out, please feel free to push it out, whether it's at the booth or reposting it in any way we can, so that we can really get quantitative numbers so that when we advocate for extending the library hours or anything with the library, quantitative data helps a lot. So yeah, that will be the rest of my report. If you wanted to look at the rest, please refer to my report, and I now yield my time.
Hi everyone. Moving on to my report, we've been working on Bulldog Voices and doing the Snacks for Survey initiative, which will continue on throughout the library survey, which will be series 2 of Bulldog Voices. I've also been working on an ASI outreach presentation, which will be uploaded to the drive here shortly as well, just wrapping that up. And then also been meeting with senators on their one-on-ones, so if we haven't scheduled our one-on-ones, I look forward to seeing you before the month ends. So I yield my time with that.
Hi guys, so basically what I've been working on, I won't go too into detail, is again finance committee, so approving, or I don't know, the finance committee approves or denies. And then also I had a blue emergency phone meeting, so those are essentially like the blue tall things you guys see outside. So a lot of them don't work, so we're looking on ways to either update a handful of them or like removing some, and then also a lot of safety concerns with security cameras, something that I had brought up, so we're going to try and update the cameras, because I think they're from 2005, so those are really old cameras from the year that I was born. And then also like adding security cameras on top of those blue light things, so I have been working on that. And with that, you'll my time.
Hi everyone, so I'm going to start with a quick announcement. So I attended the President's Advisory Council for the LGBTQ2S+ community, and there is a film festival happening this weekend in Tower District. It's the 36th annual Fresno Real Pride Film Festival. But moving on from that, I also attended our Cal State Student Association plenary session this last weekend, and a few weeks ago we attended the Central Region meeting. And then one common issue that occurs across a lot of other schools is how we can keep our CSU affordable, because a lot of other CSU campuses have also faced a student fee increase. As for this last weekend, I sat on the Legislative Affairs Committee, and we were talking about different bills that CSA currently co-sponsors, including SB 98, which requires schools to notify all staff, students, and families when immigration enforcement is present on campus. And they also discussed SB 271, which expands the definition of basic needs to include childcare and ensures that parenting students receive appropriate financial resource support, including Cal Grant and supplemental awards. And this is relevant to another project that I'm working on right now, which is a research project that will hopefully be expanded into a policy implementation project on campus to support our student parents and provide more financial support to students on campus. And then another really big topic that occurred this last weekend at CSA was the AI initiative on campus. So we had some representatives from the Chancellor's office come and present on the AI initiative, and I did ask what financial projections would look like after the 18-month agreement ends, and they couldn't quite answer my questions on that. So I asked like what the contract would be renewed, or like what other things would be happening, and they said that as of right now, they're still evaluating whether our current OpenAI agreement is effective for students and whether students and faculty are liking it. So I encourage you all to reach out to me and tell me any thoughts you have on AI, and we're hoping to expand student voices for AI on campus and see and direct where the CSU is going to go in these next few months. But if you have any other questions for me regarding any other meetings or anything else, you can refer to my report, and then with that, I move my time.
Thank you. We'll now open the floor for item 8.2, Senator reports, starting with Senator Armstrong.
Hello everyone. As of right now, I don't currently have any following projects, but during my office hours, I was in the atrium, and a student came up and described their concerns with the washroom received in the dorms, and it actually came on perfect timing because I was emailing with Center of Sustainability, and there's a project that they would like to bring to Federal State in terms of the dorms and laundry detergents. So I'll be looking into that and coordinating meeting with the legislative departments. But for any reports, please refer to my report. I get my time.
Hello everyone. So right now I currently am working on design. So there is a Kremen atrium patio area, like it's outside. So if any of you guys have an interest on decorating or want to help design a study space for students, I would love your input before gaining approval from the dean or from the execs at first. So please contact me, and I would love to hear what you have to say. And then I'm also still working on the Kremen Leadership Council. So if you know any students who are looking for Kremen leadership opportunities, please refer them to me. And with that, I yield my time.
Hey guys, okay, so recently me and my committee have been talking about potential food holiday drive that we would like to do, just whether that's in November or December. That's something that we're still deciding, but that's what we're working on, and we're also planning on having an event in a month. Again, there's just things that we're still planning on throwing out there. I don't want to say too much, especially since nothing has been set in stone yet, but there's a couple of our ideas. And with that, for any announcements, meetings, and events, please refer to my agenda.
Hey guys, right now, like Senator Armstrong said, it's not on here, but I am excited to work on that possible washing machine and detergent initiative in the dorms. But right now, currently the Sustainability Committee is working on a student swap meet. This would be completely free to students. So if you have any questions on that, or if you want to learn more and want to support it, please come let me know. And then, yeah, for any other reports, please look at my report and I yield my time.
Hi, so I don't have anything on my report right now, but I am just trying to brainstorm what I could do for Hispanic Heritage Month, just to include all the Hispanic countries that sometimes like we tend to not focus on. And yeah, and I yield my time.
For anything regarding projects, meetings, and announcements, please report to my report. I yield my time.
For any meetings, announcements, and events, please refer to my agenda. I yield my time.
Hi everybody. Last week we had our first meeting for the legal council. We're going to have the fun task of overlooking all of the bylaws. I would love to solicit any input on that, especially from more experienced people here, or if anyone has thoughts on that, because obviously they pertain to all of us. Other than that, I've been going forward with my project at Lyles College, looking into the red tagging situation. I'm going to catch up with Vic on that soon, but personally I've been reaching out to staff and going through with that. I also had read through the sustainability proposal. I thought that was interesting. I had some questions about that, and I would love to correspond over that. Other than that, I yield my time.
For any projects, meetings, or announcements, please refer to my report, and with that, I yield my time.
Hi everyone, so October 18th, it's not set yet, but the principal business is looking to host a volunteer day where we're restoring the fountain. If any of you have actually been to the Craig School, you would know that the fountain has been down for many, many years. This is a student initiative. I didn't start it, I'm only supporting the student who brought this mission to life, and I'm very excited. So I, after workshopping some ideas, I think I want to make this an ASI collaborative volunteer event where we're just going to be beautifying the area, And if you guys have any ideas of how ASI can support that, I was just kind of thinking we can provide food, or I would provide the food, and maybe you guys can obviously get your hands dirty, help restore the fountain. I think it would be really cool and help build some morale in the Craig School business. So that's pretty much all I had. And for any more updates, reports, or discussions, we prefer to report. And with that, I do my time.
Hi everyone. So I've been kind of communicating with the dean in the college social science advising center, and we were talking about me kind of creating the leadership council. And a lot of it right now that I'm doing is just trying to get students to join the leadership council. I think I have kind of like a general idea of which students kind of want to join, and so that's really what I'm working on. And then another thing I was talking with the dean about is finding ways to share resources with students. That's one of my big focus right now is finding, maybe create like a platform or something where students could just easily access these resources. And with that, I yield my time.
So I have an event going on tomorrow from 11 to 2. We're celebrating National Teach Ag Day. So it's going to be in the Ag Quad. We're going to be giving away Gibson Market ice cream and playing games and just having a lot of information about the National Teach Ag organization. So I would love if y'all could come, no pressure. But with that, I yield my time.
Hi. I've been working on a project with Senator Sarah about bringing awareness about the free sharp disposal containers and how to mail them back at the program with the student health center, because people really don't know with diabetes, obviously they need to get rid of their needles. So we're trying to make it a known thing that you can get not free, but you can pay $3 to get a sharps free container and ship it out for free. So I'm trying to bring awareness to that. With that, I yield my time.
The only thing I have is that if you don't know, the rec center does offer free fitness classes, group fitness classes, so like Pilates, HIIT, Zumba, all the above. I'm not really sure what other ones there are, but they all are at the rec center for free. You all pay for the rec center through your tuition, so go ahead and utilize that if you'd like. With that, I yield my time.
Hi guys. So a couple of things. I've talked to a few of you about my survey that I have for the AI and Us event that I'm trying to organize. And preliminary results are enlightening. I will gladly share those results when I close the survey, but it's just showing that there's a lot of mixed feelings about AI on campus, and also a lot of passion about the topic. So I will continue working with that, and on that note, I've been meeting with some staff about it as well, and one of the things that I just got access to was some training materials that has gone out to faculty and staff. I was promised that there was way more, so I will keep asking for all of their training materials so that I can see how it aligns with what students are wanting to know about. And then every time I talk to anybody, there's questions about IRA, and I hear a lot of confusion and misinformation about how IRA works. So I have some ideas if anybody wants to talk about that. Otherwise, for everything else, feel free to check my report, and with that, I yield my time.
Okay, so in the past few days, I've been working on a few projects. Some of those also include the undergraduate research article, which I'm talking about. So we are looking to, me and Senator Hill are looking to meet the faculty to still discuss about it. And based on their approval, we're going to go ahead with it. Apart from that, we have a new org in the last part of engineering called AVI Robotics, which is a really versatile organization. And I've just been working with them and helping them get set up. And apart from that, I am also working on creating an AI model called Nueva, which is basically an AI-powered college admissions assistant. I am currently working on basically getting this model outside and asking students to review it and use it, and based on student review, I am planning to at least try working with admissions or the Career Development Center at Fresno State. And apart from that, I have also been meeting with a lot of different orgs around engineering, and obviously they do have a lot of complaints about their funding, but we're still working through it. And for any additional announcements, please refer to my report, and I use my time.
Hi everyone, so if you didn't know, the Asian American Studies major is brand new on campus, and so we're going to be celebrating it on September 27th. It's a Saturday, so if you guys can come out and anyone who is like in those majors, like feel free to refer them to me so we can like talk with them and meet with them. But other than that, I have been hearing a lot of concerns about IRA again. So yeah, but other than that,
Thank you, senators, for your report. We'll now open the floor for item 8.3, staff reports, starting with operations manager visits. The floor is yours.
I'll keep it very short. On your calendars, I've already sent you guys an invite about a month or two ago. But on October 11th, which is on a Saturday, is the ASI Alumni Advisory Board. In the bylaws, it's actually equal to a Senate requirement to attend that meeting, and you are able to be excused, but you have to be excused by the EVP. So if you have a conflict that day, please reach out to Maris. Reasonably, you guys are doing a great job. Work together. You would be surprised how much more work you can do working with someone else rather than struggling alone. Reach out to executives, reach out to each other. Everything should be a pretty holistic, cooperative deal here, or else you're going to be suffering alone, and no one wants that. So, yeah, I yield my time.
Thank you for your staff report. We'll move forward to item 9.0, adjournment. Does any member have any further business before we adjourn this meeting? Seeing none, I will now open the floor for motions on adjournment. Senator Martinez?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second? Senator Carrillo?
I motion to adjourn. Second, I second that.
Any competing motion? Any discussion or debate? We'll now vote on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? The motion to adjourn passes. I adjourn this meeting of the ASI Student Senate on Wednesday, September 17, 2025 at 5:07 p.m. As always, go Dogs.